This episode marks the end of the second season of the Priory music series, and we're celebrating it with a song sung by Lottie Day, a third year studying at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. Lottie and I have put together a song by the great Italian early 17th century composer Claudio Monteverdi. The song is called Quel se guardo sdegnosetto, and it rejoices in the miracles at Cupid's dart. This song and others are part of a Priory music concert called Ma il mio cuore, translated But My Heart, a concert that was planned for the second season but yet to be performed, which celebrates madrigals published by Monteverdi between 1605 to 1638. Quel se guardo comes from a book of songs by Monteverdi called Scherzi Musicali, which was first published in 1607 and reprinted in numerous times subsequently. The book of songs, the collection, is relatively small, but they're thought to be the most forward-looking in terms of musical development. Monteverdi himself represents a new transition from the complexity of the High Renaissance to a new declamatory style. At the forefront of this new style was the expressive rhetoric of the words. Monteverdi took full advantage of the opportunities for word painting, and explaining in the preface of his fifth book of madrigals, song is made up of three things: the words, the rhythm, and the harmony. The rhythm and the harmony follow the words. This new shift in composition became known as seconda pratica, and our concert Ma il mio cuore, together with this song in our final episode of the Priory music series, celebrates Monteverdi as a master of innovation, a man who ranks as one of the most influential figures in musical history. Hi Lottie, welcome to the Priory music series.
Hi Liz, yeah, thank you for having me on.
You were due to perform in our third concert of the second series in a performance called, very dramatically titled Ma il mio cuore, But My Heart, which celebrated madrigals by Claudio Monteverdi. Sadly, this was unable to happen. It was thwarted. But have you had any previous experience singing Monteverdi or this early repertoire?
Yeah, a little bit. I've sung a lot of early music in my time because I've been told I have the voice for it, and also I just really enjoy it in general. I'd say a lot of the time I go more towards like Handel than like very early like Renaissance music. But in my first year at college, I was involved with the summer opera, which was basically Monteverdi's 8th book of madrigals, but turned into a stage performance.
Yes, beautiful.
Daisy might have already mentioned that.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, and that was fun, and I was given quite a lot to sing in that actually, surprisingly for my first year, and it was amazing, and like it just made me fall more in love with the music, you know.
It's incredible, isn't it? The colours and the text, and
it was difficult to read all the music at first because we didn't not many people actually knew how it worked.
Yeah, because the note values are slightly longer, aren't they? So you sort of can get a bit muddled with the valuation.
Yeah, it's confusing. The sight reading is very confusing.
Yeah, it's tricky. Have you managed to, apart from our PEMS project that we collaborated on, have you had the opportunity to sing with a theorbo or lute before?
Just once actually, and it was with you in my second year. I'm sure maybe you remember. We we had to do like a Renaissance lute piece, and I did Dowland, I believe. I can't remember which piece I did.
Yeah.
But then I enjoyed it, and then I thought, you know, I would give you my email address if you wanted to work on future projects.
Yeah, that's
now we
nice.
have.
Yeah, that's a nice little project, isn't it? Because that whole year they get to choose a Dowland song and perform it with the lute. It's a really nice, nice little thing to do. So the song that you're performing or sharing with us on this episode is called Quel se guardo, and it's from Scherzi Musicali, which was published in 1632. And this book was Well, it was thought of forward looking in terms of its musical development. How do you feel your song is forward looking in terms of Monteverdi and the surprising aspects of it, and what did you find challenging about it?
Oof, well, there's like lots of there's little accidentals here and there. Like there's like a B flat at one point that's quite like I don't know, jazzy. And also it's quite dramatic, I would say. Like I think one of the bits I struggled with was just giving it all different colors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And acting out the different parts and because I feel like you have to go quite far with this type of music,
yeah, yeah,
emotionally speaking.
yeah. You have to sort of dig quite deep as well to be able to present that to an audience, don't you? That's the other. In the concert, it was your solo was part of a series of other madrigals with 5 parts, and we rehearsed those quite
Yeah.
intensely. What were the challenges of putting together those 5 parts with the theorbo, do you think?
Well, I mean, I've sung in choirs for a very long time now, and I kind of expected it to be similar to that, and I honestly can tell you it was not. It was much more challenging in my opinion because it was just one person to a part, and I thought I'd be like, oh well, I'm confident, so I'll be fine. But it can be quite off-putting, especially with the rhythms
Yeah,
and everyone doing like lots of syncopation and stuff like that. Um, and singing with the theorbo is very different from singing with a piano, in my opinion.
yes, yeah.
Um,
I mean, the
yeah,
parts are they're so sort of polyphonic and complex, aren't they? That you really have to hold
yeah,
your
exactly.
own. It's
Yeah, and if anyone is off, it can mess up the whole thing, like
you're so reliant on being a unit, aren't you? All 5 of you
exactly.
do your parts so well to be able to.
It's a fascinating experience though, because you can, if you do become like that sort of one unified voice, that is just like magical, amazing.
And so, Lottie, you've had a few opportunities at the Conservatoire. You're in your third year, and
Yes.
you've got involved in an awful lot. And one of them is the operatic side of the
Yeah.
course that they run. Can you tell us about some of the highlights that you've experienced as part of the opera department?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's I think it's my favorite part of being at the conservatoire, full stop, to be honest. So my first opera scenes, I think, was in my second year, and I don't know how, but basically I had a very small role, but the fact is that I was on stage for most of the thing because I was doing so much stage management in between and just handing people props, and I was like sat there wearing a mask and I was having to like interact with the performers and stuff. And although it was very stressful and very busy, it was like so enjoyable. But then I think my personal highlight of like my whole time in the operatic department has just been like when I played first boy in Die Zauberflöte, like last March it was.
Yeah.
And it was my first time being given a role ever. So it was my first ever complete role, and I thought it suited me perfectly.
Yeah.
Like with my voice type and how I look and everything. And it was my first time ever just like learning a complete role throughout the whole opera, and like it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like it was so much fun, like pretending to be a little kid. Everything.
Yeah, I went to see it. It was fantastic. It was really, really
Thank you very much.
engaging.
Yeah, well, and the harmonies that the boys are given to sing are just wonderful, and the music is totally different from the music in the rest of the opera, and
it's very beautiful.
Yeah,
You had a lot to do in that opera as well, didn't you? Because you were on and off stage. There's a lot to learn. Because obviously you don't have a copy in front of you, so you've got to learn the music. You've got to know exactly where you're standing, and sometimes you are having to arrange, the scenery and everything.
Yeah, it's extremely mentally engaging. I feel like your body almost goes into survival mode just because of how busy you have to be all the time. You have to have so much energy to be able to just be running around. Yes, but it was still just so much fun.
Oh, and the rehearsals are quite intense, aren't they? Running up to the performances.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're in like all day every day, and then you're also expected to be doing a full-time uni course alongside, so it's a lot. But I mean, at least the vocal department stuff was kind of they didn't make us go to every single vocal department class or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah,
no, it was absolutely fantastic. It was wonderful to watch. Your final year is coming up, and yes. Have you got any ideas about what direction your final year will take? Do you have any thoughts about a project that you'd like to specialise in, or are you going to do recital based, or?
Well, yeah. So we've got to do a major project in our final year, and mine is going to be, thus far anyway. Here's my rough idea. We're not, it might not be 100% fine. Like English song, French song, German song. Arias and duets. I've got a couple of duets lined up and some poems based around like a theme of seduction and desire. So I'm hoping to do with my mezzo friend, I'm hoping to do Por ti miro, which is very sensual, lovely, beautiful duet. I've never done it before, so I'm very, very excited.
Needs to be accompanied. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll give you an email.
It's very beautiful. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a very busy year next year, and it's wonderful to have you, Lottie, on this final episode of the Priory Early Music Series. You're the last one of 12 episodes. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope.
Thanks for having me, Liz. Thank you. Yeah. Have a lovely summer.
In this, the last episode, I'd like to thank the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire for the continued support for the PEMS project. I'd also like to thank the fantastic team at Great Malvern Priory for allowing us to use such a wonderful space for our live performances. And I'd also like to thank you, our wonderful, joyful and enthusiastic audience, for your support in our live performances and for the online series. Finally, I'd like to thank all of those musicians studying at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire who've taken part in the PEMS project. Here's a little dedication of thanks to all of you for performing with us and for taking part in the online broadcast. to everyone who wrote in with emails of support for this lockdown series. Thank you also to audience members who contributed photographs of the local area, in particular Peter Forster. I hope you've enjoyed the series and thank you for watching.